Now I know what you're wondering. Why am I reviewing this film instead of Money Monster? Well, I wish I could give a good reason, but honestly, I didn't realize it was coming out this week. I straight up forgot. And so, that's why I'm looking at this film instead. With that out of the way, let's begin this episode of Romney's Reviews. Dough is the story of a kosher baker in danger of losing his shop who takes on a Muslim apprentice. After a stash of marijuana is accidentally mixed in the dough, business begins booming for this struggling bakery. While the advertising may make this film look like a lighthearted comedy, it's grounded in a pretty harsh reality. I mean, Ayash and his mother are refugees from Darfur who live in a very run-down apartment complex that has like no upkeep. You have a bunch of smaller businesses, including that of the main bakers, being edged out by a much larger company, and you see a lot of anti-Jewish and anti-Muslim rhetoric being thrown back and forth between the two main characters. I feel that this makes this scenario a bit more believable. It helps to flesh out the characters, flesh out the world they live in, and kind of give you a little insight into what these characters have been dealing with for most of their lives, both in the terms of the old baker and the Muslim refugee who becomes the baker's apprentice. Now, don't get me wrong, this film is not out to be preachy. It just uses the situations that I just mentioned to set the stage and kind of inform the narrative. As for the comedy itself, it's very much akin to Little Miss Sunshine, where it's not really about one-liners and pratfalls, and just more about the absurdity of the scenario these main characters find themselves in. While it may not be as uproariously funny as other comedies I have seen, it has a bit of a charm to it that makes it feel like, okay, this is a scenario that could actually happen. That is until the final moments of the film where it felt like they were trying to pull a few pages from the big book of British comedy cliches. Now, it's not as bad as I've seen in other films, and there are some good moments and some good lines here and there. It just makes the ending feel a tad forced. Overall, if you are looking for a simple comedy that's just a little bit different, then I recommend checking this film out. That said, this very much is a matinee movie, or a movie you would probably watch through a service like Netflix because it's there and not really because you actively sought it out. It's enjoyable, but it's not particularly groundbreaking. It's just a good film for passing the time with some smart and funny moments. All of that said, Dough gets a 4 out of 5. So that's it for this episode of Romney's Reviews. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time.